Hello faithful viewers and welcome back to another Transformers review. This time we're looking at the Transformers Legacy Comics universe, Tarn. Now I don't know much about Tarn as a character other than that he's from IDW and that he is a member of the Decepticon Justice Division. Other than that, he's got a really cool design and he gives me vibes of the Fallen because he has a Decepticon insignia for his face, which we'll show off in a little bit. But here he is in alternative mode, which is a tank, and it's a beast of a thing. Look at all of these treads that he's got going on, and these massive, outrageous cannons, two little pinpricky things on the front and these obnoxiously huge things on the back here. He's got a nice golden Decepticon logo dead front with the kind of like a snowplow sort of front thing going on here. He's got gold on the back, but his primary colour obviously is various shades of purple, a brighter one and a darker one on the rear. He doesn't roll particularly well. In fact, that's because he doesn't really have reels. He's got sculpted ones on there, but they are just sculpted and static. On the underside, what becomes what? I've chosen to turn around the Decepticon head here, but you don't have to. But that's where his head is. You can see his hands are poking out here, and then a process of elimination, these are his feet. But I think from at least the top view, it does a decent job of hiding what becomes what. But anyway, this is a great vehicle mode. It is just deadly and evil and really cool. For the turrets, you can rotate it around in vehicle mode, and this is an Evo Fusion modular system here that just popped off of its own accord. So there's going to be a lot of things that we can do with this that I will show later, many different variations that you can have it in, but otherwise great looking vehicle mode. So let's transform Tarn. The first thing we're going to do is take off the turret. It is necessary because it will reinstall in a separate place later. Then we are going to begin really by lifting up the back section of the tank and just keeping it folded out, and these are going to be the legs, as I said a moment ago. Then we are going to come to the underside. We are going to unclip these faux tyre pieces and just leave them hanging out. We are going to unclip the forearms from the sides of the legs, and then we are going to very carefully just bring out those pieces of a tyre. And I say very carefully because the type of friction clip they are on means if you put too much pressure, they'll pop off very easily. So just double hinge them up and tap them into the sides there. So let's try and do this without popping it off. There we go. Double hinging it and clipping it securely into place. And then you can wrap things up here by rotating these and clipping them in just like that. And then you can take these purple pieces here. You can bring our camera up, rotate them so that they are now on the outside, and straighten up the arms as you do. There we go, like that. We're getting close now. We're going to hinge this bit up. We're going to rotate it round, and we are going to bring the guns around like that until they tab into position, and we're just going to keep that hovering upwards for now. And then very carefully we're going to bring these tyres down and guide this bit down at the same time, and let's poke up the head as we do. We've got to really bring that down as we bring these up, because once again, if you put too much pressure on the friction clip, this will pop off, and you will see that in action in the reverse transformation. So let's just bring all of these down. Let's bring that down. Let's bring the head up. Rotating until we've got it all into this position basically. And then we can squeeze these tyres in until we find their marks. There we go. And then that will allow us the ability to clip that front piece into position. Rotate his head. We can fold the backpack in and it will clip in nice and securely. We can rotate the arms down like so, and then we can finish bending the legs, clipping them in to the knees, fold the feet, plonk him down, and then last but not least, we're going to come to the backpack gun assortment here. We're going to, first of all, put that back in the correct slot, and then rotate them round like that. That one really does not want to stay in. But rotate the guns round, and then take the grey bit and rotate it 180. And then you can simply plug that into Tarn's back and consider his transformation sequence complete. And this design is so cool, isn't it? Look at his massive broad shoulders and his grimacing visage of a Decepticon logo for a face. I mean, that is so sick, isn't it? And the best thing is also, it's got light piping. Hopefully you can see that there. His eyes do shine purple in this light. So yeah, really cool design. Decepticon logo still on the front. Not a lot aesthetically changes from vehicle mode to robot mode, but he's just got such a presence about him, and I dig it. In terms of back kibble, there's not a lot going on. There is his turret, but then again, it's a modular thing and it can be removed and it's meant to be placed in various different locations. So yeah, overall, really great looking thing. Now let's talk about that modular system. So you can have it on his back like this, but if we just take the entire thing off, I think a lot of depictions do display him with it on his forearm. I'm just going to rotate the grey piece round and plug that in there. So that is, I believe, a very common look for him as well, with it mounted on there. But there are other things that you can do as well. So we can rip that off. We can take the guns off entirely, and we could have, say, one on there, and we could have one on there perhaps, and you can have him dual wielding these, for example. That's something else you can do. He can hold the guns as well, like so. And then, like the first movie Ironhide figure, you can actually combine these into something like this, and he can be lugging around something akin to a massive sniper rifle. So if we get him holding, he can't really hold this straight, but he can hold it to the side, and that's another thing that he can do. Of course, there are various other ports. I think those ones are designed for vehicle mode primarily, but yeah, you can do whatever you want with those guns, really. In terms of articulation then, Tarn can rotate his head 360 degrees. He can look up that far and down only that far. At the shoulders, you've got 360 rotation right there. He's got like trigger happy kind of shoulders where they go up at a bit of a strange angle like that. 360 at the elbows, as well as a 90-degree bend at said elbows. The fists can rotate 360 degrees, and you do have finger articulation as well, so they can all open up like that. He has no ab crunch of any kind, but he does have an impressive forward kick, an impressive back kick, and a beautiful spread. He can rotate his legs 360. It's a lie. He can't rotate 360. I've been duped. No, he can rotate them 3/4 of the way round, just below the hips. He has an over 90-degree bend at the knee, which you could also extend like that if you wanted, break his legs, but create some more dynamic poses. It's a bit like Slipstream. And then at the ankles, you've got up and down wiggle waggle, and you've got the tiltage there, which is commonplace on a lot of Transformers nowadays. So overall articulation for Tarn is excellent. For size comparisons then, here he is next to Kingdom Cyclonus. Here he is with Legacy Cybertron Override. Here he is with the 2008 Titanium Man. And as always, the Far From Home Mysterio. Alright, to transform Tarn back into tank mode, we are going to start by unclipping his backpack and just putting it to the side. We will deal with that last. And then the next thing we are going to do is disconnect his knees, just like Slipstream, so that they pop out like that, and then we can go ahead and connect the legs and just have the legs hanging down at roughly a 90-degree angle like so. Then we will connect them toward the end of the transformation process. Then what we are going to do is levitate his backpack. That's first. I've just popped out that, which apparently is a thing you can do. You can wheel them like batons, according to TF Wiki, but it recommends not really doing that because that's kind of brittle plastic. Anyway, let's disconnect his backpack, get back on track, and levitate it up. Then we are going to spin it 180, and then we are going to rotate these guns forward like so. And let's just leave that hanging for the time being. Then we are going to come to the arms here, and we are going to rotate these panels so that they are now on the inside, and do the same on this one. Rotate that so that they are on the inside. I am going to then rotate his arms up like that, just for clearance sake, and then I am going to disconnect the chest panel very carefully, because the type of friction clip it's on means it is liable to just come off. So what you kind of want to do to prevent that from coming off, let's just pull on the tyres, or the treads I should say, and just get them out, and then begin rotating these back while simultaneously bringing this up, and that should in theory help coax it into the right position. As we do so, we're going to bend the backpack back and push Tarn's head back just so it fits in that cavity, and then let's continue bringing all of this back, maneuvering it around the turret, and we can see we've guided kind of the snow shovel area up and into place. Do not click it all the way, because then you will knock it out of place and it is a bugger to put back on. And then we can hopefully push the turret section back and into place, and then we can rotate the forearms so that these panels are now on top, and at a slight angle tap them into the sides of the legs. That one is secure, so let's just rotate that one, and then we should, if we just bend it correctly, tap that in like so. Then we're going to get our nails, dig them into these little grooves here, and unclip these parts on either side like that. And then very carefully we're going to disconnect, and these are on double hinges, but just like the front bit here, the kind of friction clips are on means that they are liable to fly off with very little pressure. And then we want to, with an eagle eye, get the bend on this correct and feed basically this bit into a gap which is just before this joint here. Kind of difficult to show on camera, and I did it successfully on that one. And then you can just clip that faux piece of tread flat against the base there. So second verse, hopefully same as the first. Let's just get it in. There we go, that was easy. The first time I played with this, I had a lot of trouble with that, and I'm so glad I seem to have got the hang of it now. We've basically got everything else in place, so we are going to just complete the legs and clip them in, right like that. And then we can plonk him down, and then with this turret section here, get this grey piece rotated so that these two square or rectangular pieces are on the back, and then plug them in right onto the available slots on the back of the tank, and there you go, that is Tarn fully transformed into tank mode. So there we go then, that's been our look at the Legacy IDW Tarn. I really do like this thing. It's just, general design is incredibly cool. That Decepticon head sculpt, mwah, chef's kiss. Brilliant colours. Quite a simple transformation sequence when you get going with it. My biggest pet peeve with the figure really is the clips and the stability of the ports. Now, my copy is second-hand, so I do need to bear that in mind, but I believe the previous owner did look after the figure as well as I look after mine. So I don't know exactly what is going on here, but the fact that the chest piece pops off, the guns here pop off, and these bits pop off, all with very little effort. It's just a little nitpick, but it might just be my figure. I can't speak for the general release of it. But otherwise, I'm not letting that detract from how cool this thing is and how much fun I do have with it. It's an absolute recommend. No problems recommending it whatsoever. Really great articulation, really great design, really great colours, really great transformation. Thumbs up all round. So thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this review. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.